Welcome everyone to the Nicola Valley Talk, a product of Experience Nicola Valley, featuring many amazing blogs written by amazing people who know a thing or two about living in a small community. Self-distancing, self-isolating, and staying safe. Every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we have guests from around our valley and our sister city or sister town, Logan Lake. So I'm your host, Tania Stewart, as well as a Nico blogger with Experience Nicola Valley. And sorry, I have a hot lamp on me and I'm really hot. So I apologize for wiping my brow once in a while. So helping promote our community and businesses, nonprofit agencies, musicians, artists, tourists in our valley and our sister community, Logan Lake. So tonight it's going to be a little bit different because I usually do an introduction to my guests, but tonight we're very fortunate. We have two guests and I'm going to welcome them here right now. And I'm going to start with Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
Deborah, sorry. Deborah, could you pronounce your last name? I didn't want to say it because I didn't think I would get it right.
Yeah, it's Petrovitch.
Oh, well, welcome, Deborah.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring Joanne in here. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Tania.
Welcome, Deborah and Joanne from Work BC here in Merritt, BC, right? Our two guests, and I usually do an introduction, but tonight I felt because you two have a lot of information to provide our listeners with. So Deborah, I want to start with you with the first question. Could you please provide a snapshot of yourself, a bio of sort?
Sure. I've been working in employment services since 2010. And starting back with Open Door Group, we specialized working with people who had disabilities. So I did that for 2 years. And then when the Work BC program came into play in BC, I moved over to where we are now, across from the Royal Bank. And I worked as a case manager for 6 years. And then in 2016, I took over the manager role in this office. And then a year ago, they expanded our contract. So now I work out of Merritt and I oversee the Merritt office and our Lillooet and Ashcroft offices as well. So that's the work side of things. I love living in Merritt and being outside in the outdoors, hiking, walking, biking, camping, going to visit all the lakes. And that's me in a nutshell.
Wow. Well, Deborah, thank you for that. And you're in the middle person right there, Joanne Street. Come on and tell us a bit about yourself, a bio of sort. And why don't you throw in your role in Merritt, BC?
Okay. So I started working in employment services around 2002, and I worked in the same building, and it was Community Futures Nicola Valley and Merritt Employment Services. So I worked for almost 8 years with them. And then as years passed, I did work for the Mission Work BC office for that program. And then when, in Merritt here, I was hired in March of 2019 and as an administrative assistant and resource center specialist. And in March of this year, I got promoted to become a community and business engagement coordinator. So I do that for the Merritt, Ashcroft, and Lillooet office. And so that I reach out to employers to let them know about our wage subsidy programs, see if we can set up with organizations to present our program to them, to let them know that what we do here. And I do a lot of different things. Just reaching out to the community and engaging, with employers.
Sounds like it. And how is it? I'm going to go off script here a bit. What's it like working with you, with like all of you? How many are there in your office?
Like 11 here in Merritt, and then we have 3 positions in Ashcroft and 3 in Lillooet.
Wow. And it must be great with Joanne because Joanne's so funny.
She is the best team, the greatest group of women. We're here to help people. We help each other. We're just we all enjoy coming to work every single day.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it's a really supportive system, and we're all like sister girls here, you know? Yeah, very supportive system, and our big bosses, like, they're just amazing as well.
Wow, that's great to hear. Well, Deb, could you break down what is Work BC's mandate? On
yes.
Oh, sorry. On your website, it says providing free programs and services, including employment counseling, skill training, disability services, funding options, and the support you need to find a meaningful and rewarding job.
Exactly. So Work BC's mandate is to help all British Columbians find, obtain and maintain sustainable employment. And so that means that there's people out there might have jobs, but they might not be sustainable. They might not be able to make it paycheck to paycheck. Technically, those people are underemployed, and so they can access our services if they're needing to find a different career that is sustainable. And then if you're unemployed whatsoever, then you can come on in, and we have a wide variety of services, as you mentioned. Sometimes people want to get right back to work, and so we'll look at their transferable skills, and we'll think of what jobs are out in the community right now that they could apply for and be successful at. Or we might look at it and say, you know what, why not look at some skills training to look at a career that's permanent, that you can have full-time employment year-round, and then we'll see how we can sponsor that type of training. And then some of the other services as well that you mentioned, like if you have a client come in and they have disability issues and they need more support on the job, we can offer those coaching services. We can provide financial supports. We can do wage subsidies. The list goes on and on.
How can you make sure that people are going to be safe? What procedures have you got put in place, and safety procedures?
Absolutely. We're really lucky because our office building is actually pretty huge. We have upstairs offices. That's where I'm located with 2 other staff members. And then the frontline staff all work downstairs. But when you come in, you'll see we have plexiglass barriers for the client as well in each of the offices when you come in around our reception area. And we have spacing, so everybody practices social distancing. We now have mandatory masks. We have had that for a while. And so if you can't bring a mask in, or you forget yours, or you don't have one, we can offer you one. And we can just, our offices are quite large, so there's enough space that everyone can feel safe. The other thing is we offer virtual services. So if you want to just be at home and call us, we can offer services over the phone. We can offer video conferencing like we're doing now. And both of those options are available so people can do what they feel safe with.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to have those options, I would think. And so I'm going to ask the both of you of this, and you can both take turns in answering. So Work BC is a resource center to assist people in finding their career or looking at something that they may not have ever thought of, right? And so what is the first step a person takes on this process?
So the first thing we would do is we would connect them to, if they want to come into case management services, which is really the full array of services, and that would happen if they're unemployed or underemployed and want to look at these different options. So we connect them to a case manager, and we have a lot of great tools. We have personality assessments, we have interest and value assessments, we have ability assessments, so we can see, what would you love to do? What is a good job out there in the labor market right now where there's jobs available? And then we just go from there. We teach people how to research the labor market, what's available in Merritt or surrounding areas. And we just work together until they find an employment goal that they're excited about and that they know will give them what they need.
And for my side of things, so I connect with employers, and then they let me know what type of employees they're looking for. Or if I see a job posting, I'll call that employer, see how many job positions are open. And then once I get a little bit more information, kind of like survey them, then I connect with the case managers that are here in the office and see if they might have some potential clients that would be a good fit for different employers. And right now too, we're doing employer highlights with Q101. So every second week, we will feature an employer who's looking for, say, 4 employees or more, and we've done it so far with 7-Eleven, the Upper Nicola Band, Infracon, which is Lower Nicola Site Services, and just in the works with Schwachem Health and Family Services.
That is very good.
Never a boring moment, Tanya.
No boring moments,
No,
right?
always something to do. A lot of multitasking.
Oh, well, that's good, though.
It is good. I always love a challenge, you know.
Yes. So what if a client is unsure about a career path, right? Asking themselves questions like, should I apprentice or should I hit the book? Should I go to university? Should I go to college? Should I take a certificate or, you know, or on the job training? So are there resources available for them to work at Work BC?
There is, yeah. Some of those assessments that I mentioned on the last question are really, really helpful, because it not only will assess, you know, what their interests are, and what, you know, their strengths, where their strengths lie. It will assess sort of what type of personality they have. So someone who might think, you know what, I might really like marketing, but then we do the assessment and it'll say, you know what, you're an introvert. And so you get your energy from being alone, maybe not working with people all day, all the time, where like you can see with Jo, she's in marketing, she markets to our community. She's an extrovert, she loves being around people, and that's why she's so successful at it. And so those assessments will really help narrow down where they're gonna feel the most comfortable and have the most success based on their personality and their interests. So when you mentioned about going back to university, if they decide they wanna do skills training, they'll pick a few employment objectives, and then they'll do some labor market research and just find out what is out there. We'll show them how to interview employers, how to interview schools, how to find the best program. And, you know, we normally sponsor skills training programs that are the quickest and most direct route to employment. And there has to be a need, both in terms of skills and in financial needs. So if we assess that and we find out, yes, you know, so this person would have financial hardship if they had to pay for this themselves, then Work BC can look at sponsoring the cost of that program. And then it has to be a need in the labor market. So if they already have a degree in a career that is in high demand in the labor market, we wouldn't necessarily retrain them. But if it makes sense, then we would absolutely go ahead and be able to offer that.
Like if a person hurt their back and they wouldn't, say if they were out as a contractor working outside, hammering nails into a building, whatever they do out there. I've never done the job. So they get hurt and they can't. So is there would be help for that kind of person for retraining, right?
Absolutely. So we might look and, you know, we might decide, oh, you know, would, you know, corrections be a better career? Would a security guard or something like that? Maybe that isn't as physical, but we would work together with the client to find what they would like to do.
Oh, or even a job like you guys is. How about that?
Yeah, even that.
Yeah. The time before I got hired here, I was going through a little bit of a change in my life. I was actually working for Interior Health at the Gillis House, and then when I found out about the position for the administrative assistant, because I have experience in that, I applied for the position, and Deborah hired me, so that was great. And then she had mentioned off and on that, you know, eventually we're going to hire a marketing person, and I wasn't even thinking of myself. I don't think neither one of us thought about it right off the bat. And then all of a sudden it was like, Deb's like, well, why don't you apply for that position? So it's, yeah, it's really nice to get the promotion and to do something different.
And totally,
you know?
And like what Deborah was saying is that you're an extrovert.
Yeah, and I did like, yeah, and when I was coming in here, kind of in between everything, and I actually did access a case manager here, and I did the career assessments and learned a lot about myself. So yeah, it's a really great tools that they have. Like it really helped me too, to decide to come back into employment services for one.
And that's the thing, like we really, you know, we're here to help people. If you interviewed all of us, you would see that we really care about people and we really just want to help them, and that gratifies us. And so that's why I can say if anyone's thinking, like worried about coming in or feeling nervous, they don't have to, because we're just a great group of gals here to help people find what they need.
Yeah, and I think too, because pretty well all of us that work here, we've had life experience. We've, dealt with the lows and the highs and the in-betweens and everything. And I think because all of us here do have that experience, we can empathize and relate to the people that come in.
And which helps, which benefit, and people know that, and they can feel it, right?
Yeah.
And everything. So what happens if a person, and one of you, both of you can answer it quite quickly. What happens if people don't, like you did mention it a little bit about not having the technology, may not have a computer, or may not even know how to write a resume, period?
Yeah, we have a resource center. We have 4 computers. We actually had to relocate our computer resource room just because we had to reduce the number of stations to make it safe. But like I said, our building is huge, our classroom is huge. So we have 4 computers that are spaced, quite a bit apart. And so people can come in and use those if they don't have a computer. If they're working with a case manager and they don't have computer skills, we will help them with their resume and their cover letter. We'll help them feel comfortable doing interviews. We'll help them learn how to self-market themselves and look for jobs. We have resources here. So really everything that you need to find a job, we have all of those resources when you come in and or work with a case manager. If you're not working with a case manager, we have 2 awesome girls at the front desk, Tracy and Jessica, and they're our resource center specialists. Joe helps out with that the odd time too, and they're here to help, and they can assist with resumes, etc. Even if you just got to change an address, or you want to fax something off, or email a resume out and you don't have an email address, we can do all that.
And we also have 2 side offices that have computers in there, and a lot of people will access our computer stations in those areas if they're doing online courses, like say for security guard training, or if they're getting hired by like one of the Trans Mountain contractors and they have to do online like onboarding documents and stuff like that. So we have some private areas that they can do all that in.
That is great to know that. And so while researching you two, and feel free to, if Deborah just wants to take over and answer this, or then Joanne. It's nice to hear both of you though, right? It's really neat. It makes my job easier because you're both talking and you're both, and one may forget what the other one may have not said, right?
Sure.
So, researching Work BC, Deborah and Joanne, I was very intrigued to see that there are services to help meet recruitment and hiring needs for employers. Please explain this to our listeners. I might have said it wrong, but please correct me if I am wrong.
Did you want me to give an overview, Joe, or do you want to just?
Yeah, please, Deborah.
Yeah. So basically, we want to, Joe reaches out to employers to find out about their company, what they need, what their challenges are, when do they hire, more like are there certain seasons in the year, what are they looking for? And so that's what she does. And then we try to build a database of resumes so that we can job match, clients that are looking for work with employers that need to find good employees. And so that's kind of in a nutshell how we serve our employers. We do have wage subsidies, and we do also do job coaching. So we might have employers saying like, this job's really technical. We don't mind training someone on the job, but we'd like to have a job coach come in and just give some extra help because we don't have a lot of staffing. We can set that up for someone who needs someone sort of by their side the first few days or the first week. But in terms of the wage subsidies, what that is basically is if a client is willing to go in and learn on the job, and we deem that they'll be a good fit and they're what the employer is looking for, and the employer is willing to train that employee on the job, Work BC will subsidize some of their wages. And it varies how much that is, but normally it's a 24-week period, and Work BC will pay part of the wages and part of the mandatory employment-related costs. So those are the deductions and everything that they have to remit to the receiver general. They'll cover that as well. And so it helps, especially right now in this market and with COVID. I think employers are really interested in the wage subsidies. And Joe's very helpful in terms of helping the employer through that process, which is quite simple.
I find too, because we just had a little change in how the wage subsidy is working and how employers can access more easily, like to hire somebody. And so I've been in contact with employers that I've contacted in the past about our wage subsidy program and just letting them know about the updates. And actually just today, I think that like we definitely signed up 2 wage subsidies and we've got 2 on the back burner right now. But they can call me and I'll tell them about it. All the
Yes.
yeah.
That's really good. So what are the employer expectations? What else would a person need to know? Is there anything else like
yeah, there's a few things. Like employers do have to be in business for 1 year. And the position that they would put someone in a wage subsidy for can't take someone else's job. So they want to make sure that the wage subsidy is filling a position that's already available. And the employer has to complete an application, and it's quite painless. Joe helps with that. But they have to do that. That process has to happen before the employee starts. And so we just want to make sure we have at least 2 weeks to get all the paperwork in order. The only other thing is they have to provide a job description, fill out a short application explaining, the duties of the position and what they're planning to train on. And we like to have a bit of a training plan. So what is the employee going to learn each month in terms of this 24-week wage subsidy? So it's, not a lot of work, but it definitely lays out so that everyone's aware of what they're doing.
Well, that's very good. And so the employer, like having the I guess what the employer's responsibility is to map and plan the most beneficial time that the employee is going to be there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like a huge part of it, because and then what if they're really great and then they get to be hired maybe?
Absolutely. And lots of times they keep them on because they've been able to almost test drive that employee and they can see how wonderful they are. They get a foot in the door and then they have a permanent job afterwards.
Yeah, and just on that point too is so we've had quite a few wage subsidies through this year, and so I was doing the wage subsidy monitors. We do one at 12 weeks and one at a final monitor, and I'm going to say 95% of the people that have been hired have been kept on the job, so that's good. And just another thing with the new wage subsidy information is that employers can rehire laid off workers and get help with the wage subsidy. Right, Deb?
Yeah, that's a great change that they just implemented now.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, before you wouldn't be able to do that, but they understand that employers have had to lay off people due to COVID. And so to rehire them back, of course, the government and Work BC really wants to sponsor employers to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's so great.
So, Deborah, could you share with our listeners what is special about the Nicola Valley and why this should be a stay vacation destination for travelers? We'll start with you, Deborah, first, and then Joanne. Feel free to take.
I could talk about the Nicola Valley all day. I moved here from the Fraser Valley, from Chilliwack. That's where I grew up. And it is beautiful in its own way, of course, very green. But here, it just has a special beauty. There's so much to do. There's hiking, biking, fishing, camping. It hardly ever rains. There's a beautiful landscape. We're close to Kelowna. We're close to Kamloops. This town of people is wonderful here. You can see that just by taking a look on our Merritt Grapevine on Facebook. Someone can lose their dog and it's usually found by noon because everybody just pitches in to get them home, and it's just become my home. And I can't think of anyone who wouldn't love it here. It has everything.
I love this place. I continuously tried to get away from Merritt, but I kept drawing me back into school.
We always come back, Tania.
Yes, we always do. So
Yeah.
Would you like to?
All roads lead to Merritt, and we are a middle city. I was born and raised in Merritt. I'm a 5th generation here. So through my life and raising my kids here, lots of camping, fishing, hiking, biking. Like we have so much untapped resources when it comes to having a staycation. There's so many things I think about Merritt that even as locals that grew up here don't even know about. And there's just always something new to learn. And there's a lake a day as long as you stay. And yeah, it's just one of the most beautiful places on earth, I think. And I'm grateful to be living here.
So am I. I have to say, I'm still waiting for Joe to show me some of the hidden places that we can go to.
Well, if you haven't been to Windy Canyon, you have to go there.
Yeah, but so let's start with you, Deborah. Could you share with our listeners what the Experience Nicola Valley bloggers and this talk show means to the community?
Oh, I absolutely think that you guys are doing a great job of just spreading the word on how wonderful this community is, this area, and showing people what services we have to offer, both for residents, like Joe said, that have been here and don't know all these hidden gems that we can visit and take day trips to, and also people that are wanting to move here. There's a lot of people, I think, that maybe want to get out of the big cities, and we're just in the perfect location. It's just a great place, and you've shared that probably for the first time, as you know, since I've been here on Facebook, and we're just really glad that you're here doing what you do. Absolutely. And one thing I didn't mention at the beginning that I should say is that the contractor for this area, we're employed by Community Futures Thompson Country, and this contract is sponsored by the Ministry of Social Development and Poverty Reduction. And you know, that ministry in the BC government has been absolutely phenomenal in just what you said, reassuring people that we're here to help, we're here to get people employed, we're here to help people, you know, have stabilization in their lives and to move forward with hope. And that's, you know, how we all feel. So when you come in and see us, we hope that you'll feel that too.
Joanne, is there anything you would like to add to that?
Yes, I would like to add about the Experience Nicola Valley. I do the social media here as well. And so the Experience Nicola Valley talk shows, so I get to see when you've shared them, and then I'll share them onto our Work BC page as well. And yeah, they're great. I remember attending was it the Bloggy Awards, Tania? Yeah. Yeah, the Bloggy Awards, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and that was so much fun. And just to see how much, like, I knew you guys did a lot, but just to see how much you guys do, and it's amazing. And featuring all these different businesses and giving us the opportunity to be able to be here and do this and get the word out about what we do. And yeah, no, you guys are amazing. I actually talked to Greg earlier today and just let him know how amazing this talk show is. And it's very important to have in our community. And and he was telling me, like, it gets out to Australia and everywhere. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
It's going huge. I mean, and it's great. We're being recognized everywhere. And what's the best thing about it is our community is recognizing, and the businesses that we have helped and everything, and the feedback we get from them is just awesome. That's why we
do. I'd like
it.
to invite the employers, all the employers that you've interviewed, or anybody, but employers to give us a call and see how we can help them out. And if they have job postings, we have an online job board as well as in our front window that people can access from the outside. But yeah, I would just love to hear from everybody.
That's awesome. And there you go, people. Get out there. They're there for you and for the community, and just not this community, right?
Yeah. And with the work subsidy program too, I just want to say, like, it's clients or anybody who wants to sign up for our services or anything, or they want to talk about the wage subsidy program, they can also approach employers. We can give them a letter, and they can also approach employers and let them know that, yeah, there's that help here for employees and employers. All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Well, there you have it, everyone. Like, what an amazing two ladies. They're amazing. I mean, they're there to help you. I mean, if you're looking at changing your career due to health reasons, or due to because you just really want a different career, or you're stuck in a place where you don't want to be, or you've been let go from a job and stuff like that, please contact Work BC. They are there for you. And like with the wage subsidy program, it's amazing. It sounds amazing. And I mean, utilize it, right? So again, I want to thank everyone for listening. And I want to thank our guests, Deborah and Joanne, for being on tonight and providing so much information. And this is all about our community and Nicola Valley here. And like, we need to unite and unity community, right? So again, thank you every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time, Nicola Valley Talk Show. And I just want to shout out right now, I get to talk to Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus next week and some else. Okay, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. Okay, so please stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next week. Again, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Experience Nicola Valley and Experience Nicola Valley bloggers. Thank you.